we do have to talk about Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Not about Bianca Belair, but we have to talk about the topic of Bianca Belair. There are petitions on Twitter right now begging WWE or trying to force WWE to never go to the UK again because the entire UK is racist.
And I thought this was a joke at first, but it's not. They're serious.
Because they booed Bianca Belair, because Io Sky is moreover, because Rhea Ripley is moreover, because Bianca Belair cost them seeing the end of a title match on Raw.
Yes,
or because
they booed her.
And it's just like people are allowed to boo.
They booed her when they got in between Rhea and Io. People have wanted Io to be the champion for a long time. Everybody loves, Io Sky. What does Bianca come back from? Her friend just attacked her other friend, and she was not supposed to know this happened. So she looks like a terrible friend or
but you see,
an
here's
awful
the thing.
person.
We talked
there's
about
all these little elements to it too.
We talked about
she should have been turned heel.
We talked about something on the last pod that I thought was really, really okay and deep for a wrestling story, because you had Bianca coming from this traumatic place and Rhea coming from this different traumatic place, and they didn't really have an issue with each other, but they were both people that were done being fucked around, they were done being hurt, and they were just screaming at each other because they were both dealing with their own stuff. And they mostly did that on social media. They haven't touched on that at all really on television. So
no, not much, unfortunately.
Maybe that conversation's going to go by the wayside. But I figured out why the Bianca thing doesn't work. And in this case, she's not my favorite person. We've been over that, right?
We know this, but you've always been objective, though. Like, you're not...
Yeah, she's a great athlete. I don't think she's a particularly entertaining wrestler, but she's a great athlete, and she has a presentation about her that does speak to some people. I'm not one of them, but she has found an audience, and there is something to be respected in that. So I'm sort of speaking around the compliment there.
I got tired of her with the constant smiling, even when she lost bullshit. Like, that lost me after a while.
What kills it for me is the hair thing. Not because I think people shouldn't do whatever they like with their hair, because apparently you can't.
Because it's a weapon,
This is the thing. She's the only person in wrestling that is allowed to bring a weapon into the ring, to hold a weapon in her hand and hit somebody with it and not get disqualified. That's been a long-standing thing for me, right? But I think the problem with her winning Elimination Chamber, and I had to come around to this because I had to first come around to the fact that the problem I have with her being in this match isn't a problem I have with her necessarily. And when you're talking about somebody I don't generally like, I have to sort of come around to that conclusion. The reason her being in this match doesn't work is because she had a story. And what they've done by having her win the Elimination Chamber, which is a valid way to get to a title match at WrestleMania, I'm not saying that, but they basically scooped her out of an established story that she was in and shoved her into a story that didn't need her.
Yeah, basically.
So you see what I mean by, like, my criticism of her isn't me criticizing her. In this case,
no.
It's
the creative, yeah.
Because the story on SmackDown, as much as I hate to admit it, the story on SmackDown kind of needs her, because Naomi is cringy as hell.
Yeah,
cringy as hell.
Should be...
Oh, the two best heel turns in all of wrestling history are John Cena and Naomi. Suck my fucking dick.
Yeah, I don't know where people got off on that at all ever.
I don't even think Cena's. I think what Cena's doing right now is fantastic. But I don't think it ranks up there with, like, Hogan turning on Savage and starting the NWO. I don't even think it touches on.
When it first happened, I thought it could be.
Yeah.
It hasn't been what I thought it was going to be. They've done a lot of the
problem with it is
fans and that stuff. And
the problem with John Cena's heel turn, and this is the part I'm giving them a lot of slack on this, because this is something that they can't really recover from. Like, by definition, they can't. When Rollins turned on the Shield, it broke up the Shield, and people liked the Shield. When Hogan turned on, what was it, Savage, or whoever, I didn't actually watch that pay-per-view. When Hogan turned and finally, like, made the NWO.
Yeah, right? Well, he was a third man that they kept talking about. Yeah. So it was him turning on everybody. It was him turning on everybody,
right? But it was like, no, those were the good guys. They were going to rally together and da-da-da-da, right?
Yeah.
The problem with John Cena's heel turn and why it will never be booed in the Seth Rollins breaking up the Shield kind of way is he was so bad at being a good guy that the only good thing he could do was turn bad.
Yeah, because there was nothing left for him to do in his career at this point.
But
you
turned heel, but ultimately people have been saying for decades that you should turn heel. So turning heel was the most babyface thing you could do.
Exactly.
And that's why I give Cena Cody a bit of a pass, because it'll never be a true heel turn because people wanted it.
Yeah, you're
supposed to split up something like the New Day was never going to split up.
Yeah, they were supposed to be together forever. So their heel turn was surprising and shocking, and that whole thing with Big E. But the follow-up has been disappointing.
The very uniquely John Cena situation is the most heely thing he could do would be to stay babyface, and the most babyface thing he could do would be to give the crowd what they wanted, which was for him to turn to a bad guy. So he's going to get cheered for being a bad guy. So I don't think they can get out from under that. But if I sort of put that to one side, what they have managed to do in that frame is fantastic. Naomi came out, cut one really shitty crying promo in the ring that was so bad that the promo they played the following week was pre-taped so that they could make it look better.
It was cut and edited.
And
people were like, oh, this is the best she's ever looked. I wonder why.
But but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm looking on the surface and it's like, oh, fuck, I don't want Bianca in the Rhea match because she's going to win. She's going to steamroll Rhea. That's my initial reaction. But then I step back and it's like, okay, put onto the shelf the fact that I don't personally like Rhea Ripley as a performer. It's not for me. It's for other people, but it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why does it actually not work? Because to get to where they are now, they gave away Rhea versus Io on weekly television.
Yeah, for no reason.
Which is
for
dumb as
no
shit.
Reason.
When Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky is a WrestleMania match.
Could have been WrestleMania, yeah. That match could have been WrestleMania, where it should have been WrestleMania main event, not main event, but you know what I mean, been the main deal.
Should have been the title match, yeah.
Yeah, should have been the main focus, and
so it's not. But it's not just. With this,
but it's not just confusing.
But it's not just a typical like, hey, here's this match that I like, and somebody else is interfering. It's to get that interference, you had to pull her out of an already established story that she was in. So you had to say like you're saying. WWE saying fuck you on both sides. Like, to the people that are enjoying the Bianca and Naomi and Jade Cargill drama, like, you've taken out a piece of that. And to the people that were looking forward to Rhea Ripley versus Io, you've sort of jagged a piece into there that didn't need to be there. So you failed twice. You've obviously failed somebody like me who doesn't give a shit about Bianca Belair, sorry. But you've also failed the Bianca Belair fans who were invested in that story. So even because
I really thought, like you said, it makes no sense for her not to know what Naomi attacked her, and they both should have wanted to get Jade out of the way. Like it doesn't make sense for just Naomi to have done it and to have done it that way.
I mean, it also doesn't make sense that if she knew who attacked her, why did she not say anything for 3 months?
Yeah, why did she? And that's what I'm saying. So it's terrible friends. Like, you didn't trust either of them. Oh, I couldn't trust Bianca. Well, why? If it was just Naomi, and how did you know? You saw other people walking away. Like, all this, it just, like you said, it left a lot to be desired. And then she was inserted elsewhere where she wasn't needed.
It wasn't a story that made sense, but it was a story that firmly involved her. So you've given her a title match at WrestleMania, which is the ultimate end game. Let's be real for a second. But you've also left her this other story. So you've in a company where not everybody has anything to do, you've gone out of your way to make sure that Bianca Belair, of all people, has 2 or 3 things to do.
Exactly. She's been on multiple shows and been focused on multiple times. So, it's like, what is it?
And you tangled up the tag titles in the middle of that so that you could get them across all 3 shows. But again, I say, like, I don't like Bianca, but there's people that do. People that were enjoying that dynamic with her and Naomi and Jade don't get a successful payoff because one of them just walked away.
Exactly. And you ruined something, and it's like you didn't have to.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't get it, but the whole petition thing, well, you have to like her. Why? Go ahead and say out loud why you think I have to like her. You won't.
Yeah, where's
won't.
the need there?
Where's the need? Why can't I like Rhea? Why can't I like Liv? Why can't I like Charlotte? You know,
well, we know why we can't like Charlotte, but
because she commits the cardinal sins of being white, blonde, successful, and having an unpopular dad.
The third one, I think it's more Miss Nepotism. Everything she's been handed.
Because it was never used as an anchor around her neck or anything. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting because, like,
a little bit maybe, but it was also as much as it was the albatross, it also was the life preserver that kept her afloat. So I will say that.
Maybe, but she's also
she's always been, even when she didn't warrant the involvement, she's always been involved in some title picture or main event scene, regardless of what she served.
Do you know how you earn that? You give everybody on that roster their best damn match. In the time where everybody was saying, oh my God, everybody has their best matches with Sasha Banks, who did Sasha Banks have her best matches with?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, Charlotte certainly carried a lot of people that way, too. She has talent, but I think it was more she was lacking in other departments, and she was defended by the machine repeatedly. WWE seemingly never stopped to keep always had her in the forefront, while others had to go back to NXT or had to, learn different ways to cut a promo and whatnot. She just got to slide by, basically, it felt like.
To those people, I say then stop giving her the reaction that she wants. Because if she goes out and gets loudly booed, and your favorite, whoever your favorite might be, goes out there and gets nothing, they're gonna, even if it's a bad reaction, this is the John Cena logic from years and years and years ago. Oh, well, at least they get a reaction. Well, that's also kind of true. Because you don't want to put too many people out on their show that are making it for a dead audience. And that especially
nothing
now,
back.
And now more than ever, who's getting the most attention? John Cena's getting booed out of the building. Logan Paul, listen to the reaction that he gets. The heel New Day, listen to the reaction that they get. Charlotte Flair, listen to the reaction that she gets.
Yeah.
And like I say, I go back to what I said earlier in this pod. Zelina Vega, I hope they put everything behind her. But when she came out to make the save on last week's SmackDown with Chelsea and her folks messing with Caden and Katana there, she got no pop. Now, partly that's because Chelsea is a heel that's ridiculously popular, so that doesn't help either. But
no,
you're going to wonder why they stick with Chelsea. And, maybe she'll get booed a week, maybe she'll get cheered a week, maybe it'll be like a Tiffany Stratton situation where she got cheered even when she was a heel, but they're getting a reaction.
Exactly.
So while you're
reaction and a constant one at that.
While you're voicing all your displeasure about Charlotte Flair, WWE sees a reaction. While you're all over X bitching about Charlotte Flair and then claiming that you're not obsessed with Charlotte Flair, who's trending?
No doubt about it. Even when you're bitching about her, she's still getting attention, and that's what people tend to forget,
Haters are my biggest fans.